Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to It's Time to Read with Miss Jones. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. Our story for today is Ruby Finds a Worry. But before we get started, you know what time it is. It's time for our Get Ready to Read song. Are you ready? Here we go. What time is it? Hey, what time is it? You know, what time is it? Get ready. It's time to read with Miss Jones. What time is it? Hey, what time is it? You know, what time is it? Check your watch. It's time to read with Miss Jones. Ruby Finds a Worry by Tom Percival. Ruby loved being Ruby. She loved to swing up high. And she loved to explore wild, far-away places. Sometimes she even went all the way to the very bottom of the garden. Ruby was perfectly happy until one day. She discovered a worry. It wasn't a very big worry. In fact, it was so small that at first Ruby hardly noticed it. But then the worry started to grow. Each day it got a little bigger. It just wouldn't leave her alone. It was there at breakfast, staring at her over the cereal box. And it was still there at night when she brushed her teeth. The funny thing was that no one else could see Ruby's worry, not even her teacher. So Ruby pretended that she couldn't see it either. She tried to carry on as if everything was normal, but it just wasn't. The worry was always there, stopping her from doing the things that she loved. Ruby wondered if the worry would ever go away. What if it didn't? What if it stayed with her forever? Ruby didn't realize it, but she was doing the worst thing you can ever do with the worry. She was worrying about it. Now the worry was enormous. It could barely fit in the kitchen at dinner time. It filled up half the school bus. And it took up whole rows at the movie theater. The worry became the only thing that Ruby could think about, and it seemed like she would never feel happy again. Then one day, something unexpected happened. Ruby noticed a boy sitting alone at the park. He looked how she felt, sad. And then she noticed something else, something hovering next to him. Could it be a worry? It was. Ruby realized that she wasn't the only person with a worry after all. Other people had them too. She asked the little boy what was on his mind, and he told her. The strangest thing happened. His worry began to shrink. Then Ruby did the best thing you could ever do if you have a worry. She talked about it. As the words tumbled out, Ruby's worry began to shrink until it was barely there at all. Soon, both of their worries were gone. Finally, Ruby felt like herself again. Of course, that wasn't the last time she ever had a worry. Everyone gets them from time to time. But now that she knew how to get rid of them, they never hung around for long. Ruby finds a worry. Boys and girls, I know during this time, a lot of you have anxiety. A lot of you are worried. And not only the children, I'm sure parents are too. I encourage you, talk about your worries. Create an environment where your children can talk about their anxiety and their worry. If your children aren't vocal and they can't vocalize how they're feeling, I encourage you all to get them a notebook so they can draw. Some words, if they can write, cut out pictures of how they're feeling. And I would encourage parents to date those pages that they write on. So if you see something that concerns you, you can see how long it's been happening. Okay? Everybody is worried during this time. It is normal. It is okay. But just like Ruby, so our worry don't overtake us and overcome us, we need to talk about it. You can share with a friend, with a loved one, share with a mental health professional. Okay? It's okay. We all have worries. We just need to know how to handle them. And as Ruby said, we need to talk about them so they won't last for long. Everybody gets them. That's normal. But we don't want them to linger on and get bigger. Okay? We want to shrink them, make them go away, and we want to be able to talk about it. Thank you, boys and girls, for tuning in to It's Time to Read with Miss Jones. Please join me all this week for more stories. Peace and blessings.